are doing a lot. They entertain us, they seduce us, they challenge us.
What are the effects so far? Keep innovating, don't expire.
I'm going to show you a product that was initiated by CEF, which is the Frisian Electric Boating Foundation, and with an eye to an event that will take place in 2018, which is when Leeuwarden in Friesland is going to be cultural capital of the world, and MienSkip is its theme. And as CEF, we wanted to create an electric boat for the MienSkip, for the whole Frisian community to use and to use in any way you want, or to build in any way you want. So a platform approach to a new electric boat. And we have a few principles that we looked at, which are very common or very actual in the society today, and that's about sharing, flexible design, sustainability of course, because it's electric, an open source design, and directed at the whole community, not just a few individuals who can afford a boat like that. We also had a historic example, and that's the Frisian pram. I'm not going to translate that, I don't think there is one. But that's a boat that was used over 100 years ago and was used by everyone. It's a very recognizable design, and they used to transport cows with it, or building materials, or whatever you wanted. And today, these prams are still on the water, but more for leisure, like sailing races with them, or having a party on board. And it's a design that is still known by everybody who is on the water in Friesland. So, looking at all these elements, we came to a design brief for this electric boat platform, where we wanted a recognizable boat. Everybody would say, this is an electric boat that I know. An efficient boat, because we need range. Sturdy and stable for the bigger waters in Friesland. Multi-purpose. Multi-material, I'll come to that later. And we talked to Vripack, actually, who wanted to help us out with this design. They're usually about designing big luxurious ships, but this project attracted them as well. And we went through a couple of rounds of sketching and discussion, and eventually Vripack came up with a design that looks like this. It's a 22-foot open boat, just a hull design, and we think it is recognizable. You see a bow that's somewhat like a whale, or any analogy that you might think of. It's very sturdy. It has a shear that goes down instead of up in the traditional way. And when you look at it from the other side, you see that the shear goes down into the stern, and the stern has a very particular three-angled shape. So the recognizability was okay for us. But also it's a very spacious design. You can use the whole inner room of this boat. And we did a few design studies of what you could do with a hull like this. The first one is a sloop, which is a Dutch, very traditional boat that's very popular here in Holland, where you sit in the back when you're steering, and all the other people are in the front. Very social kind of boat type. Also, we did a few other designs like this one. This is actually a traditional speedboat, where you sit in the front behind the windshield, and the people in the back, people you sail with, are in the back. They're lounging or sunbathing or whatever they want to do. So we did a few more. They're just examples. They're not anything that's obligatory. This is a center console boat, which is a type of boat that's used on open waters or in the Mediterranean. You sit in the middle, and you have sunbathing area in the front, or even like this, you can generate solar energy, and seating arrangements in the back. Another idea was the weekender, where you have a sleeping arrangement on board, and you can raise the deck much like you raise the roof of a VW camper that you see, the yellow car that you see here. But these are a few examples, but we wanted to keep the flexibility to a maximum. So we also wanted the boat to be able to be built from different materials. So we're working on projects actually right now of boats made of wood, of steel or aluminium, or different types of plastics like HDPE, which is a recyclable material. And same thing for the drivetrains. We're working on projects which are driven by an outboard, which you see there in the back of the boat, a podded motor, which you put under the boat, or an inboard, which you can put under the self-draining cockpit floor so that you have no obstacle in the boat. Of course, we then had to go to the structural design and to a file that you can actually laser cut or any other way, or put in a CNC machine. And this is actually a pile of steel from which you can build a boat. And this has been actually done in the past few months by a couple of people from a boatyard in the north of Holland. They built this steel model, this steel hull, and they only had to do the welding. There was no 3D forming necessary. It was just a space and welding, and of course you need to be able to weld actually. But it was a very nice result where you see the forms very well. Here's an aluminium version, which is being built by a class of students from a marine academy. So a whole class is building it together, of course with the help of their teachers. It's not finished yet, but this will be something like the real boat. But actually, we do have a real boat on the water, and this is the aluminium one in the stage that it's now in. It's actually, thanks to Vripack, it's a very efficient boat. You can see on the next slide that it has almost no waves or wake, even going at hull speed. We're talking about a displacement boat. And our goal is to have at least 100 boats in 2018 when this big event in Leeuwarden is taking place. Thank you.